What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Nordstead Point Live D&D stream, or as I like to call it, Hunter's Heavy Metal Fantasy. Our DM, Hunter Cormier, not only wrote this adventure on his own, but he made all the cool maps that you'll see us playing on. Hunter, did you use Dungeon Fog for those maps?
I did indeed use... Actually, wait, no, I didn't. I used Dungeon Draft,
Ooh.
which is a program which I believe is in beta, as well as some of the art from the wonderful Gabriel Picard on Roll20.
Nice, very cool. Well, the maps look fantastic, and we're going to be doing this every Thursday night around 10 o'clock, give or take, and we're really excited you guys could join us. We're simulcasting on both the Nerd Jam Facebook page as well as on Twitch at twitch.tv/NerdJamTV. By the way, Hunter and Eddie have this really dope D&D podcast available to you at nerdjamtv.com called Ad Proficiency. If you want to enhance your tabletop experience, check it out. It's awesome. Like, it made my game better. You guys do a great job.
Hell yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you very much, man.
Everybody out there can pick something up. All right. Is everybody ready to jump on into this?
Let's jump.
Let's do it.
Oh, just to recap, just so everyone knows who everyone is, we have Eddie playing Victor, Savannah playing Buttercup, and Matt playing Bruce.
Bruce Fantana.
Bruce Fantana. You gotta say the whole thing.
Yeah, otherwise it just sounds
It's like a Tribe Called Quest.
Right.
Okay, so let's crank through this recap. Basically, we spent the last session, Buttercup and Lee, the two of you guys are healers in town. Y'all have been looking into this strange sickness, but could not find a medical source for it. Bruce Fantana came to town to wipe out a shark based on a rumor of a man-eating shark that he had heard, a shark called Iron Eye. And you guys spent the last session with Bruce basically going out and killing this shark together with Victor, and the two of you guys sort of becoming local heroes of the town, with it being quite a spectacle. Buttercup, you have been engaged taking care of the Cliftons. The little girl is currently sick with this unusual sickness. And after that, after Iron Eye had been taken care of and before the celebratory party had begun, all of you guys went together to help out. I believe it was Victor, Buttercup wanted to investigate the cave beneath the Clifton house, where Victor had run into a couple of crab monsters there. So, here's what happened. You guys cleared it out. You now have an unexplored cave at your disposal. Victor, you had extracted a component from these crabs, which during your next long rest, you can make into a chemical that is essentially dust of disappearance. And
Awesome.
You'll be able to create two uses of that. What did you do with these crab eggs? Can you remind me of what you ended up saying?
So, I'm holding on to about 4 of them, and we're going to destroy the rest. I plan to take some with me to the villagers to ask about them.
Okay, cool. And we had clarified that before the session. I would also point out, Victor, that you have a strip of Iron Eye's shark skin, which has these sort of like swirly writings on it.
Well, he wants to bedazzle it, okay? New waistbands.
Now, Buttercup, speaking of new stuff, it might be worth taking the time to obtain a second dagger and getting some more arrows to replace the ones that you had used. You've
Agreed.
also noted that there are mushrooms in this cave, at least from what you've come across so far.
Mhm.
And you have obtained Iron Eye's fin to prepare a soup for the Cliftons. And in addition to that, you had found a half-buried aquamarine necklace with runed shells. But you don't know what it does. You just know that you are able to attune to it, and you are able to activate it with your will.
And
Now,
it is
Bruce.
very pretty.
And it is very pretty, yes, it is lovely. Bruce, you had expressed an interest in having part of Iron Eye taxidermied, and Victor could possibly help you out with that. They are currently butchering Iron Eye out on the beach. In addition to that, you have a crab pheromone gland in your possession.
Nice.
Bring on
And
the
you
crab
have begun sweating at the fingertips as well.
Okay.
Now, we're all caught up. What would you like to do?
Bruce Fantana would definitely like to communicate to Victor, hey, I want a souvenir of Iron Smile. Can you like stuff it or something?
Well, Mr. Fantana, I believe.
Bruce, call me Bruce.
Very well, Mr. Fantana. We will. We've already discussed with the villagers about extracting the teeth for you, so that you may keep those. We may be able to salvage most of the jaw, but I'm not sure what we would be able to preserve before the villagers use most of it.
What about an eyeball?
We may very well be able to attain that. Let's.
What if it's like
If they
shark
haven't
teeth and an
already thrown
eyeball?
it over into the sea.
I think you had crushed one of the shark's eyes, if I'm
You
not
did.
mistaken.
Still one.
Still one.
Who also damaged the jaw, so like part of it is broken. I remember
That's
that
true.
from last session.
That is
Yeah.
true.
That is true. Of course, that may be well within Victor's capability to deal with. I don't really know. I just know the both of you guys have some sort of medical expertise.
Are you guys
Oh,
Yeah.
are you guys able to make
Beyond-
sorry, can you make a necklace?
I should
Victor
be able to do
certainly
that.
could.
Ooh. I would
Absolutely.
like a tooth necklace with like one of the eyeballs, the last remaining eyeball.
Tooth,
Okay.
a monk weapon.
I feel like Bruce Fantana would pay you to do that.
It's gonna depend largely on how many of those teeth they're able to reclaim for you guys, and we'll let you roll for that.
Okay.
I thought, or let me just be a good little player here. Buttercup did grab like a handful of those mushrooms,
Yeah.
and she started tripping balls, dude.
I would say a
Oh,
handful
yeah.
would be about 3 full-size mushrooms. It's a pretty
Yeah.
big amount. A
But I
cluster.
wanted to be
if
fair.
you will. That's still in your bag. Be careful about sticking your hand back in there.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And I would also point out that there are 2 corpses just like sitting in this cave with you guys.
The courses
We
of the
should probably-
crabs.
Mm,
Yes.
Yes.
We should probably inform the villagers of these as well and see if they can make use of them.
I'm not touching it. Do you see that yellow stuff? Ew.
I agree.
Victor, you did, I believe, use your poisons on a couple of these. I think both. Could be mistaken. But that being said, you guys are eyeballing these. I'm sorry. Go on.
Eddie.
I had to
Oh
reconnect the Discord.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I was just pointing out, Victor, I do believe that you had poisoned a couple of these corpses, or both of the corpses, rather, during the fight. I could be mistaken. I don't quite recall. But an artificer like yourself, you are looking at a good amount of crab shell.
Yeah. I would like to harvest as much of that as I can.
It's a lot of raw material you're looking at, man.
Exactly.
You guys are welcome to make an herbalism kit check if you're trying to scavenge some of this shell.
You know what? Good idea. How do I go back to... There
That's a nice roll.
we go. Intimidation.
Woof. God damn.
There we go. Let's try. I
Wow.
got 15.
Okay. All right. What are you trying to scavenge off these crabs here?
So I'm gonna take. Go ahead.
Jinx.
Yeah, right. All right. I'll go ahead and take as much shell as I can, and excuse me,
Listen.
Um, I will see if any of the meat is edible. If not, then we'll work on discarding these creatures.
Okay. Let me see. 23 is pretty damn good. Go ahead and roll me a D6 plus 2. Buttercup, could you please roll me a D4 plus 1
Okay.
with that 15?
4 plus. What was the number you said again? Because my
Just
brain.
one.
Just one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my brain just went.
Wow. Okay, good job. So between the two of you guys, you're able to extract what's essentially. Are y'all trying to take the claws?
Yes.
All right. So I will count the claws each as like 2 shell slabs.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and say you get 2 large claws. So you get a set of massive pincers. Just add
Okay.
that set of massive pincers, and that leaves what? 4 shell slabs.
Awesome.
Okay. Downtime stuff aside, Bruce, you actually have a moment while the 2 doctors get to work trying to take apart these crabs. Would you like to do anything in particular?
I just want to look at that weird crab pheromone gland. Do I know what it does?
No.
So I've just got like this portion of one of these crab creatures, and I'm just like, yeah, that's my souvenir. Like, I don't even know what it does. I just have it.
You just punched your way into like the side of one of these crabs and just grabbed something and ripped it out.
I'll use this someday.
It's like a disgusting like little pouch with like a puckered end. Like one end of it is puckered.
Okay, I guess I just tuck that away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Stick that in your pocket. Bruce.
How big is it?
It's the size of a plum
Okay, cool.
and the color of a plum.
I'm gonna put this on the necklace too.
Oh my god. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and say while you guys are doing all this is gonna take about 15-20 minutes. Is that cool with y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can we go ahead and finish looking around the cave as well, see if there's anything else that we find?
Absolutely. Go ahead and poke around the cave.
That sounds
Uh,
ominous.
Investigation or
No, you just move yourself around the cave.
okay.
This
I'm gonna move back this way.
There's like this weird looking wall shit right
At
here.
this point, I'm gonna go ahead and just turn off the dynamic lighting, so you guys have room to explore this cave and really make it your own. Buttercup, what you're looking at on this wall is a thick layer of moss.
Okay. Is there any way that she can collect some of it? Do I
Yeah,
have to roll for it?
absolutely. How much are you trying to collect?
It doesn't. It like even the smallest portion, so she can go test it to see if it's has anything to do with what's going on.
Okay, you're just sampling it. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
and then you just get a free sample if you're just taking a tiny little amount of it.
Yeah.
As you are sort of like cutting away at some of this moss, you sort of see that the stone behind it has like very like not fine but very artificially cut stone. You just see like a line, a curve in the stone.
All right. So let me see here. I click on my character again. Can she go ahead and do a perception check?
You're trying to investigate this wall?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Okay, let me pull up my little doodad real quick. Dun, dun, dun,
You can
dun.
shift double click yourself to speed it up for you. Bruce and Victor, what are you guys doing? Why do you poke around the cave? Victor, you're gonna find hanging moss as well, in addition to more mushrooms. Bruce, what would you like?
Are there any hot girls in the cave?
Um,
Probably not.
the cave seems to be empty except for Buttercup and Victor.
Okay.
I have no idea how attractive Buttercup is. I'm gonna leave that up to Savannah.
I feel like
10's actually good enough. Go on, Bruce.
I feel like Bruce would just find like a rock and punch it. That seems like a Bruce thing to do. I gotta stay sharp.
Starts doing push-ups, like clapping.
Yeah,
push-ups.
like 100 push-ups from Bruce Santana.
Oh my god. One-handed. Okay. Buttercup, as you sort of like spread the moss a little bit, you don't cut it away. You see there's clearly something obscured behind it.
At that point in time, you know, Buttercup looked at it and she said, And then, for such a small and dainty lady, she has a rather large and loud voice when she screams, "Hey boys, I found something!" And it echoes throughout the cave.
Bruce will sprint, eager for action.
Eager for action.
Victor will come around as well.
The boys come sprinting, Buttercup.
Alright. Hey guys, so I was trying to get a sample of this moss, but look at this. So she spreads the moss to show that there's like a sort of crack going there. And she's all like, this looks suspicious.
Perhaps we should clear away the rest of this moss. And see
Yeah,
what's
as
behind
you
it.
guys look, there seem to be like an engraved curve in the stone behind it.
Can we take a short rest before we go in that thing?
Absolutely. In fact, if you guys are investigating all of this, at this point, you're probably looking at a short rest.
Okay.
Feel
So
free to burn some hit die if you so choose.
I would love to. I'm at 9.
I would also point out that at this point, it's getting to be very late afternoon on the second day.
Okay.
You're probably looking at about like 6-ish.
What would I roll on my hit die for that?
So you are a level 3 monk, correct?
Correct.
I believe when you level up, you roll what for your hit dice?
8, I think.
8. So that would be your hit die. So you have
Okay.
you have a number of hit die equal to your level. So you've got 3d8.
Okay. I'll use 1d8 right now. Oh god. I didn't do it.
So what are you guys doing in regards?
6. Okay.
6. Nice. Yeah, get that health back now.
Cool. And my key.
And your key. Hell yeah. What are you guys doing in regard to this wall?
I do want to try and clear away some more of the moss and see what else is behind it. If there's like a path, or if it's just like a carving.
As you cut away the moss, you do see a carving behind the wall, but it is just obscured by lots of like overgrowing herbs. There's vines just that sort of drape from the top of the cave down the wall, like a curtain.
Is there anything we can do to keep clearing away?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason why you can't just tear it all down. Is that what you'd like to do?
That's what Victor would like to do.
Okay.
I don't know about
So
everyone else.
You just
Sure.
tear it all to the ground. You guys can help if you like. And what you see behind the wall is a sort of engraving which looks like this. Are you all able to see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
So what you see engraved on this wall, and the thing is, it's sort of like half like submerged. It's not quite as pretty as what you see here. It's eroded quite a bit, but you see what appears to be a figure and some sort of symbol on either side of it. But it appears to be like a sort of dressed like ceremonial figure on this panel on the wall.
Okay.
Buttercup, make me an insight check with advantage because this just happened.
Okay, so I just hit-
Victor, make me an insight check without advantage. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Buttercup.
I hit that, right?
Well, darn it, I automatically did my advantage, I guess.
Okay.
Did
Uh,
it calculate in my advantage? I don't know.
Yeah, yours is 13.
Yes, yours is 13.
Okay.
So Buttercup, that's high enough. The symbols on the wall that you're looking at, I don't know if you're still able to see it here. I'll just show it to you again.
Yeah.
The symbols on the wall are similar to the symbols on the shells of the necklace that was sort of half buried in the mud there inside that pond.
So she hums quietly to herself as she looks at that and tries to like memorize what it looks like so she can do a quick sketch whenever she gets back up to the town, because right now she doesn't have any paper or anything. But she keeps her necklace kind of as tucked away as she can.
I would
I
point
believe. Sorry, go ahead.
I would just point this out to Buttercup, especially given that like you're not accustomed to magic. Buttercup, you can feel this necklace in your bag. You are aware of where this object is because you can just
Feel
tell. Yeah.
In the back of her mind, I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to freak out. This is okay.
You know
But-
you have found something slightly beyond you.
Yes. It shall stay safe for now until, I can, I don't know, get a hold of Victor later when he is alone. And I could be like, look at the pretty shiny I found. I need your help. This does not look like anything I've seen, and it's kind of making me feel weird, bro. So this is all go through her head.
Okay. I don't know if the other guys know you picked that up yet either.
No, as soon as she grabbed it, she immediately tucked it away. She knew it was something dead.
What do you guys think about this thing on the wall?
Well, I'm studying it pretty intently, seeing if I find anything. I'm going to. I should be able to make drawing drawing tools from my bag or from my various toolkits, and
you just
try and
need to
reproduce
sketch
this.
something. That's not a problem for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sketch this as best I can. This.
All right, so you're actually sketching this out. Buttercup, did you say you wanted to do the same?
Yeah, she was gonna wait till she got above ground though, because she doesn't have it with her at the moment.
Bruce, what do you think about this carving on the wall?
Bruce Fantana wants to know if the symbols recognize him. He just stares at him.
Check, Bruce. Make me an inside check at advantage.
Okay. 13.
Oh my god. I mean, the symbols couldn't not recognize you, right?
Hey, symbols.
Fantana.
Do you know who I am? I'm Bruce Fantana.
All right. Bruce Fantana. Okay, so what would you guys like to do right now? I'm gonna say this takes another like 15 minutes as you guys are sketching this out.
Let's return to the village and inform them of these creatures down here. See if they have any use, and go from there.
Good idea.
All right. So you all step out of the cave, back to the township here, where you are currently here. And Bruce Fantana and Victor, the two of you jump down here, no problem. Buttercup, you actually ninja'd your way down here, but it's going to be a good 20 feet straight back up to get back up this ledge.
Okay.
It occurs to you that it might be worth your while to, I don't know, set up some sort of way to travel up and down this wall for yourself. Unless you just want to keep acrobaticsing it over and over again.
I don't know. She definitely thinks about, making it easier with like some sort of rope or ladder or some shit. But at this point in time, Like, she could think about it all that she wants to, but she still got to try to get that little ass up there.
All right. So, what would y'all like to do right now?
Well, Buttercup's trying to figure out how to get up the damn wall because she needs to go check on the Clifton and start that soup, and then she's probably gonna have to crash because she probably looks a little rugged. She hasn't been to sleep yet.
So today Bruce Fantana fought a shark and 2 crab things. He's really tired, and he just wants to sleep. He wants to crash out.
Okay. Where are you crashing tonight, Bruce? There is a party in your honor that's supposed to go down this evening.
Oh, so have I gotten an invitation to this party?
Yeah, they told you in the week, like, hey, we're gonna prepare all this for you.
Okay, well, let's definitely do that.
Okay.
He's got to meet the babes,
Or the babe.
I guess. Yeah. Well, there are probably more than one. We haven't explored the rest of the village.
We're gonna roll
They
a
haven't
lot
rolled
of.
for their 1 to 10.
We're gonna roll a lot of d10s tonight, guys.
Yes. You hope. You hope.
All right. So where would y'all like to go?
Up.
Up.
Yeah. Can I use jump to get to the top of the cliff and then lower a rope for them to make it easier?
If you like. I believe
I would like to
you
do that.
have thus far used 3 spell slots.
Yeah, this will be my last one for the day if I do that.
Do you get yours by long rest or short rest?
Let me look. Shift double click, you said?
Yeah, shift double click. Shift double click. I gotta stop doing that. Bruce,
Oh,
you're gonna
it
just
doesn't
wait
have-
for the
Sorry, 1 sec.
the rope.
Can I try to just climb up there? It's probably not jumpable, correct?
It's well, you are Bruce Fantana.
Running
and
jump?
You can actually. What's your vertical height with your monk jump?
It's like 26 feet, I believe.
God damn, then yes, you could just jump straight back up.
Do I have any key left? I don't remember from the last session.
Single jump.
Yeah, you do.
You get it
I wanna
back.
say you should have-
I believe you get it all back on a short
Oh,
rest.
yeah. So,
Yeah, you do. Short rest.
I step of the wind up there.
With your hair flowing and your bandana
Oh my god.
flapping through the air majestically.
Yeah. So
Just
no
like
problem
that.
for Bruce Fantana. Buttercup, you watch as Bruce just drops into a squat and then just like, whoa, like lifts himself in a straight vertical off the ground, does 2 front flips and a back flip, and lands on his feet.
She's like, y'all are all assholes. So she's stopping her feet. She's currently stopping her feet because she's tired. So she's tantruming a little bit and like tries to fold her arms over her chest, and she's pouting and muttering all sorts of lovely curses underneath her breath because she can't.
Do I have any? Do I have rope?
Does Bruce Fantana carry rope?
I feel like no.
Does
I don't
Victor
need-
have any rope?
I don't need rope.
I should have rope.
Can you throw
I
it
should
up
have
to?
rope.
Can you throw it up to me? I can just catch it.
Well, I mean, I should be able to jump up to you. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. Because I
you got
didn't
a
use
spell
that.
slot.
I only used 1 level. I only used a bunch of 0 level spells last game, except for
You gave Bruce
Jump
Fantana healing potions, though.
I gave him.
I think you gave
one.
him 1, and then you used 2 jumps, which was 3 spell slots.
No, I used 2 jumps the first game. I only used 1 jump last game.
Did you use 2 jumps? Oh, maybe so. Maybe
Yeah,
so.
because I
might
jumped
just-
down and
I might
back
just
up.
be
I only
tripping.
jumped down last time.
Either way, you guys are about to take a long rest anyways. There's no reason why you can't just jump up here and give Buttercup
Yeah.
the rope.
Yeah.
Okay, so Buttercup, for your... just so everyone knows, there is now a rope descending down, making travel to the distant cave much easier for all of you.
Nice.
All right. What would y'all like to do at this point?
Once the rope is let down, she quickly like climbs the wall and she is back on land.
I guess I say to them, hey, there's gonna be a party tonight. Do you guys like to party?
Buttercup looks at him and she's like, I haven't slept in 2 days. That's mandatory for me, and I still have to go make soup for a sick kid.
I have some research to do, but I will most likely attend.
Okay. I really want you to come to this party, guys. What are you, narcs? Come to the party, guys.
Buttercup looks at that. I know about 20 different ways I can kill you, all involving plants. Let me go get a couple-hour nap and actually, get some sleep and take care of a sick child that I'm trying to save. And then we will see. And she just walks off. And
So
goes-
now that we're out of the cave, sorry, go ahead.
and she's back at the house.
Okay, so you're going back to the Clifton house.
Yes.
Victor, what are you doing?
You mentioned that Bruce was dripping. Do I notice this now that we're above land? Or on land? Instead of in
Now
the
that
cave?
you're on land, what? I'm sorry?
Do I notice that Bruce is dripping?
Ooh. Well, you are standing right next to him. Make me a perception check. It's very subtle.
Okay.
Especially outside there's enough with the waves crashing that it's not as easy to
Yeah.
hear it.
That's a pretty good
15 is
roll. That's a
pretty
really good roll.
Pretty
It
good.
is.
It's the 75% percentile,
Okay.
right?
Bruce, do you wear a shirt?
No.
You don't wear. Okay.
No.
Okay. So, Victor. So, Victor, you do notice that despite this lovely cliffside sea breeze, there is still a sheen of sweat on Bruce's rippled chest.
Mr. Fantana, do you feel okay? You seem a little dewy.
I mean,
For lack of a better term.
I fought a shark and crab people.
Very true. Very true. Perhaps let me check you out a little bit later.
What do you mean check me out?
Medical checkout.
Oh.
Medical checkup.
Okay.
Entirely medical.
Sure.
Check up.
Are you a
Check up.
Are you a doctor?
Of a sort, yes.
Okay. he regards this cautiously.
Okay. So
Suffice it to say, my knowledge of biology is unparalleled.
So, where are you two guys going for the evening? Are y'all both going back to Chastain's? Because Victor, you're staying at Chastain's unless you're relocating
Yeah,
to the cave.
that's where I'm gonna stay there for. Oh, I'm gonna go
Although-
inform.
I would point out it will cost you, Victor, to stay at Chastain's, where staying at the cave is free. But you
That's
will
true,
have,
but the cave needs to be made a little more livable first. Needs some work done.
That's true. That's absolutely true. But shit, you're the man to do it.
That's true. That's true. I'll probably make that a downtime project.
So yeah. So you're going back to Chastain's, and Bruce, you're doing the same.
I'm gonna go to the party.
All right. Well, the party's at Chastain's. Buttercup,
Yes.
you are retiring for the evening.
She promised that she would try to make it, so I'm gonna roll to see if she wakes up enough in order to
Okay.
make it for said party. But again, she's been up for like 2 days.
Okay, so you're RP exhausted.
Yes.
Yeah, just like I would figure, my character 2 straight days, and that includes, fighting crabs. And
Is there
tending to
legit
the
2 straight
girl.
days? Are you like
Huh?
actually 2 straight days up?
Yes.
Like she stayed up all night taking care of the little girl, I think is what she was saying.
I mean, like okay, so assuming you're getting like a couple hours of sleep a night, like 3-4 hours of sleep a night, we will
Something
just
like that,
say, go ahead and just make a straight con roll.
Okay. That's not gonna be a good roll, just so you know. Where's my little thing?
We're kind of doing this out of order. Buttercup, as you enter the Clifton house, you will find Cecily Clifton, who's sort of like fretting about, like trying to take care of Beatrice. And at this point, the second pair of sheets is like currently being washed. As Cecily is trying to like take care of all the sweat that is seeping out into the sheets. And you will notice pretty much right away that Beatrice is sort of murmuring and tossing and turning, and her sleep looks much more disturbed. Ooh, yes! All right, okay. You are
What?
going to sleep through the party. Buttercup,
What?
you pass out on this table as you were trying. Well, we'll go into that, but ultimately you're not going to wake up. But Buttercup, as you first come home, I'm sorry, I'm getting out of order because I'm excited. As you first come home, Buttercup, Cecily is fretting about. Beatrice looks worse, like notably worse. She seems to be hallucinating quite heavily at this point, and she is sort of like murmuring indiscernibly.
Okay. So when Buttercup first walks in, before she, like face plants on the table, she sees what is going on. She sees Cecily fretting. She's like, "I'm so sorry it took so long." She's like, "But apparently this new dude that came to town, his name's Bruce Fantana or whatever, killed the big shark. I think his name was Iron Eye, but I got the fin. So I was maybe thinking we can cook that and just try to give her the meat of the fin to see if that would help, and maybe a little bit of the broth."
Okay, so you're gonna cook.
She's gonna have Cicely assist her with that because she is like so groggy. It's unreal.
Oh my god. Okay, so just make me. You're not proficient with cook's utensils, are you?
No.
Oh my god, I love the idea that you're a terrible cook. Okay, go ahead and just roll cook's utensils. That's going to be either wisdom or intelligence, and since you're not proficient, it's just going to be a flat wisdom or intelligence roll.
Okay, let me see here. Which one is higher? I will go with wisdom.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Well done.
Good roll.
Wow,
Good
okay, and
roll.
this was intended to be medicinal as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Can someone look me up, like the significance or like purposes that shark could have, in real world mythology, please? Meanwhile, Buttercup, you cook something incredible out of this, like oversized shark fin, and because it's so large, you have a huge supply of it. You are able to get. I'm gonna go ahead and give you 3, like vials essentially of this medicinal soup. The effect of which I will tell you as soon as I find out.
So, shark cartilage is most famously used for cancer, including a type of cancer called Kaposi sarcoma. Shark cartilage is also used for arthritis, psoriasis, wound healing, damage to the retina of the eye due to diabetes, and inflammation of the intestine.
It's really specific.
So, wound healing by itself, we'll go ahead and call these like just straight up potions of healing. You make 3 potions of healing. We're gonna call that flat just 10 health recovery.
Okay.
Very well done.
Well done.
However, exhausted from your badass cooking, you are going to sort of fall asleep sitting at this table here.
Yeah.
And Cecily, who is similarly exhausted, is also going to pass out on that table. Meanwhile, for the remainder of the evening, Bruce and Victor, sorry about that, you guys make your way to Chastain's across town. And at this point, there's still a very excited hubbub. All the news of Iron Eye being cleared out. No one even knows about the crabs or the distant cave. A lot of people didn't even know there were monsters in the distant cave because no one can really access that place very easily. But as you guys walk into Chastain's, there will be a very excited environment here. Let me change up this music from something a little less depressing.
We need some rock and roll. Do you have any Van Halen? Do you have Van Halen queued up in a roll 20?
Check this out. Hey, some ambience, some ambiance. How about that? Oh, actually, you guys can't hear this. Sorry about that. Let me here. That should pick up pretty shortly here. There seems to be a party that is still building. It is very excited. There are people all about just talking, telling stories about what they saw. A lot of people are already drunk. There are a couple locals, like a hunter and a fisherman in the corner, who are just like playing a little bit of music for everybody to get down to. They are serving delicious food. Victor, you're gonna note this as well. Specifically, they're all shark-based dishes. So they have prepared crab and shrimp stuffed shark fillets, seared shark steaks, and shark and clam chowder.
Yum.
Nice.
And yeah, people are talking extremely excitedly. As you walk in, there's a sort of like, hey, you know, as Bruce and Victor kind of both, like the two heroes, kind of emerge.
They mosey on in.
Crab blood, no less. And Victor, you see Percival, Jocelyn, and Randall all sort of like cheering, sitting at their usual table.
All right. I'll go ahead and actually I'll go ahead and approach them and ask if they knew anything about some crustaceans of unusual size.
Crustaceans of unusual size.
Yes.
I mean,
What?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm just saying,
Okay, so anyways, these guys are gonna be like, I mean, the only news that we've really had about any giant crustaceans is this crazy story from a couple days ago. Apparently there was a monster, and everyone in town heard it. I mean, if you were here, you must have heard it too. But there was this large monster that seemed to speak like a man, and it said, "We protects the humans," before jumping off right in front of a couple of our boys over here. And they sort of gesture across the table to some of these guys sitting at the other table. And they said, and it ran right past them. Didn't harm a hair on their head. Strangest thing you've ever seen.
Interesting.
And they sort of like raise a glass to the two of you, and they say, well, we sure are fortunate that the two of you happen to come to town at the same time. And they say, what can we ever do to thank you?
Well, we do seem to be having a bit of a celebration right now this fall.
Like,
That's what I'm
This
expecting
this
you to
will
say.
do for now.
I think Bruce is gonna eat his old nemesis, the shark.
Yeah.
He's gonna eat the shit out of that thing.
just dive right Iron Eye.
Mm.
I gotta
I
say,
will mention.
it's delicious.
Sorry.
Sorry, go on.
Delicious shark food. Yes. No. I was gonna let them know about the cave and ask for help in trying to uh, make it a little more livable. That's as far as something that maybe we could be assisted with.
Oh, wow. Okay. Um, yes. As far as making the cave more livable, the guys are gonna sort of like raise. They're gonna point you in the direction of a man sitting in the corner, whose name is. His name is. Sorry. They're all female. Sorry. We're gonna go ahead and randomly generate this NPC and just roll with this.
Awesome.
His name is Nicholas.
I like Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
And he's sort of standing in the corner. He's sort of the scrawny man. He very clearly needs to put on some weight, but he still maintains a decent amount of muscle. But this guy's sort of drinking in the corner, and he's kind of quietly having a good time. You guys seem like kind of listening in to everybody else's stories, but after a moment, he kind of sees you guys looking, and sort of waves.
I motioned for him to come over and join us, if he's willing. If not, if he'd rather stay by himself, I'll probably wind up approaching him solo.
Okay. I will generate an NPC as soon as I can get Roll20 to cooperate with me. Is it loading for you guys? Are y'all having difficulty with Roll20 by chance?
I'm good.
I mean, I'm in. I'm loaded. Everything's fine.
Good. I am just gonna carry on with this then. So this guy Nicholas is gonna make his way over to all of y'all, and Victor, you and Bruce as well. The two of you guys can see this guy's kind of bashful as he comes up to you, and he says, "Hey guys, like,
Oh yeah.
It's an honor to meet you."
Thank you, Master Nicholas. I hear you are the man to speak with about furnishing or making a space more livable.
And he says, "Well," and he kind of laughs to himself, and he says, I wouldn't. I'd do what I can, you know." And he kind of like shrugs a little, and he's like, "I'm the carpenter of the town." He says, "I'm pretty good with my hands. What do you need?"
Well, I would like to recruit your help on a project. There is a small cave underneath the town, right in the entrance underneath the Clifton House. I will need some help making some furniture, if you would be willing to help with that, and possibly doors and a stairwell.
And he kind of laughs. He says, "Oh, that old place." And he says, "Well, I'm surprised you're trying to do anything with that." And he says, "You can't tell me you're actually staying there, are you?"
Well, not currently. I stay here in a room above, on the next floor. However, with the illness that is in town, having a isolated location where I can make my studies would help.
And he says, "Well, I can't exactly tell you no." And he says, I want to thank you as well, Mr. Fantana, sir." And kind of turns to you, Bruce.
So Bruce Fantana's eating the shark, right? He looks at him and says, "Fear is the best season. It's delicious."
Wow. You're exactly like they talk about in the stories. And he says, "I can't believe you were able to kick that shark like that."
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone fight like you. How can I be like you, Mr. Fantana?
Drink your milk, stay in school.
Says, I'll buy a cow. I'll buy a cow right now. And he sort of like raises a glass and he says, is anyone willing to sell a cow? Nobody responds.
Well, good luck on your venture. We will hopefully the money that I pay you for your help will assist with this.
He says, yeah, please. Swing by my shop in the south side of town. I'd be happy to help you out.
Bring milk.
Absolutely, after the festivities.
Some cow supplements, a little chocolate.
Flintstone vitamins.
Okay. Wow, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I am completely blind. Roll20 has not been working for me for like the past like hour.
Oh no.
Oof.
You're doing so great.
I know, thank you. Like the improv.
You're good at winging it, man.
NPCs. So Bruce, the two of you guys are kind of chilling out, enjoying the party. Someone is going at some point to sort of step up and ask you, like, Mr. Fantana, now that you've taken care of Iron Eye, like, what are you gonna do? What's next?
Push-ups. Maybe some sit-ups, I don't know.
One of the patrons is gonna ask you, like, how many push-ups can you do at once?
I can do one push-up at once.
Wow, that's perfectly reasonable.
I can do one at a time.
Impressed by your practicality. Let's see. Let me see if there's anyone in town who's like pretty fit. Wow. Okay. There's someone here with a strength score of 17.
Ooh, that's much higher than Bruce Fantana's 13.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Dex. He's all Dex.
Oh wow, all decks. Okay.
And some wisdom.
So
I know things.
So one guy is gonna step out, right? He's kind of like a big fat guy, but he's big and he's muscly.
And he's
And he
been large,
says-
huge.
And he says, Mr. Fantana,
It's Bruce. Call me Bruce.
Bruce. So, I'd be honored if you take me on in a push-up contest.
Take you on? You mean like on your back? It's pretty hardcore, man. I'm pretty heavy.
How heavy are you?
I'm at least like 230 pounds.
Holy shit.
In
How
one
tall-
arm.
How tall are you?
6 something.
Something. Okay, fair enough.
6 plus.
See. Okay. So are you not going to accept this guy's push-up contest?
What would I have to roll to accept his push-up contest?
It's an athletics check, right?
That sounds like a bad idea. I think I got a +1.
Oh my god. Okay.
+3 to athletics.
+3 to athletics. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you proficient in athletics then?
I am proficient,
Okay. All right.
but
well,
barely.
All right. You want to go toe to toe with this guy, or would you like to find a way out of it? He does look pretty big, Bruce, and you are a dexterity monk. Is Bruce Fantana intimidated by a 17 strength score?
No. Yes. Maybe.
A little.
Let's do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Do I get advantage for any reason at all whatsoever?
If you can give me a good reason why you'd get advantage. Victor, is there anything you can do for your boy? Roids or something before he starts?
Okay. So I don't think Bruce should have advantage. I think that doesn't make any sense. But what is this guy's name? Does he have a name?
So All right, we'll call this guy.
Porthos.
We'll call this guy Hugo.
Hugo's terrified because he just challenged Bruce fucking Fantana to a contest, and I feel like the nerves, the jitters, like the pressure to perform, I feel like is fucking with his head right now.
He's a little too drunk for his own good.
Maybe.
But he's excited.
Damn it.
But he's excited.
Oh no.
Victor, is there anything you can do to support? Bruce?
Please.
Not really. Like, I don't have anything I can really do to help out that.
Okay, Bruce. So
Oh.
you're faced with
So,
against this guy.
if I can't beat him on quantity, I'm gonna beat him on quality. And what I think Bruce fucking Fantana is gonna do is he's gonna go down like he's gonna do a push-up, expend 1 key point, and he's gonna step of the wind and somersault onto the wall, and then bounce off and stick the landing somehow
Wow.
Back into a push-up position.
back into a push-up position.
Roll me acrobatics, and keep in mind this would be a perfect opportunity to use your inspiration. And the way I run inspiration in my games is every session you get 1 free inspiration that gets recharged by good RP. Don't forget to use it. It will save you in your time of need or instances such as this.
I think it's a great prompt to use it right here. So I'm gonna roll. No.
You're not gonna roll.
The suspense mounts. That's a 15.
Still blind, dude. I can't see shit.
Could I go ahead and use my inspiration and just like really bump it? Just make sure.
Yeah, go for it, man.
A D6. Cool.
Wow.
21.
21. All right, so Bruce, describe to me again what exactly you're doing. Describe for everybody what exactly you're doing here.
So Bruce Fantana is gonna go down like he's gonna do a push-up. He's gonna expend 1 key point and do Step of the Wind, and he's gonna push himself up about 26 feet into the air, bounce off of the wall, jump back, somersault, ollie, kickflip, and then he's gonna like fall onto the ground and do like that cool like Neo thing from the Matrix and like fist into the ground and like one hand up in the air. He's gonna say, "I'm Bruce Fantana."
Wow. This fat guy, who is also very buff, is not going to challenge that because he can't challenge that.
Yes, yes.
And he is going.
I was so scared.
He is going to immediately concede in the face of
Yes.
this.
Fuck that guy.
Whatever he did.
Hugo.
And he
I'm-
was.
I'm Bruce Fantana.
That was incredible, Mr. Fantana. And he just says, like, I can't. I will only embarrass myself.
It's Bruce. Call me Bruce.
So at some point, while this is going on, one of these guys next to you, Victor, is going to lean over to you and say, so what's your story? Where do you come from?
Oh, Victor, I'm sorry.
Yes, you.
Well, I've been studying the monsters that inhabit our land, trying to find the best ways to defeat them all. I intend to give humanity the greatest edge it can in this wars for survival.
He says, you're a monster hunter? Well,
Yes.
that explains your work on the beach.
We also took care of a small problem underneath, in that cave underneath the town. There were I mentioned some large crustaceans down there.
Huh. Yes, that's right. We didn't even know there was anything in that cave. Nobody can get to it all the way down there.
We were informed of it.
Motion just the other day.
We were informed of it and figured we should go ahead and take care of the problem while we had the opportunity.
Yes, he says very strange things that. Um, yeah, we're not too sure what to do about all that, but we're certainly happy that you arrived when you did. We're happy to help you out for everything you've done for this town.
I do have another question. I break out that sketch in my that I have, and kind of just show it to him. What do you make of this drawing?
Looking at it, he looks quite confused, and he says, "Well," he says, "I'm not too sure what that is, but this here," and he sort of points to like one of the symbols, and it's very roughly drawn. He says, "Well, that kind of looks like some of the coral pieces here in town, doesn't it?" And he sort of like strokes his chin. And the shape he's pointing to, you see, is actually like a very small background piece.
Yeah.
But he's telling you that it looks like one of the
And we're back. Thank you, Google Fiber, for that little break there. That was kind of okay, I guess. Hunter, why don't you give us a quick recap about what just happened?
All right, welcome back, everybody. So basically, what just happened was a large, chubby but muscular man named Hugo had challenged our beloved Bruce Fantana to a push-up contest, getting a little too big for his britches and a little too buzzed. However, Bruce Fantana, in an act of extreme acrobatics, managed to just completely show up Hugo with his very first push-up, being, if I'm not mistaken, a series of stunts and flips. Do you want to clarify precisely what that was?
So Bruce Fantana was on the ground in the push-up position. He expended one key point. He felt this like warmth in his belly, and he like expended that like supernatural, like crazy spirit energy from within his core, and used one key point to step of the wind, which doubled his jump. He somersaulted through the air, touched the wall, bounced off the wall like fucking Spider-Man, does like a kickflip and an ollie, and hangs 10 and like lands on the ground again, like Neo from The Matrix. And he like has a fist on the ground, and he's like got the other fist in the air, and he just looks incredible while he does it.
Yeah, just a 10 out of 10 performance. Hugo immediately was just like, nah, I can't fuck with that. And that was basically that. And meanwhile, Victor had shown our fellow bar patron, Jocelyn, the runed shark skin, and asked Jocelyn, hey, like, do you recognize anything on this? And Jocelyn had pointed out to like a fairly minor detail in the background of the shark skin, one of the smaller runes, and he says, hey, that right there actually looks like one of the coral formations here in town, and if you catch me tomorrow, I can show you some of that. And while everyone's talking here, you guys kind of hear about this place, Finnegan's Bucket. And Finnegan's Bucket is this system of caves to the west of town. They're like, wow, like if you can take out Iron Eye, like maybe, just maybe, you can do something about Finnegan's Bucket. And they're like, there were 2 hunters who went in there before, and nobody had heard from them since. They kind of vanished after going in there. And they're like, it's a bit of it's a bit dangerous. Nobody goes there. Like, we know better than to ever venture there. The fishing boats never head that way. But if you guys are interested, that is a thing.
Intriguing.
Mm-hmm. In addition to that, roll me a perception check, both of you.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, that's one of the better Bruce Fantana perception checks.
Okay. All right. Victor, in the midst of all the partying, you don't see it, but Bruce, you notice in the very corner of this tavern, sits a sort of curmudgeon-y old man who doesn't seem to partake in any of the partying. He just kind of drinks to himself. But you don't need to talk to him. You just notice that he's there.
Can I talk to him?
If you choose to, you certainly don't have to.
So everyone else is enjoying the revelry in celebration of Victor and Bruce Santana, correct?
Yes.
This guy stands out to me as a sore thumb, right?
He is frowning at everyone. He's not pleased. He's not pleased at all, Bruce Fantana.
I'm gonna go to him and I'm gonna be like, "Are you a narc? Why so bummed out?"
So I've got every reason to be bummed out. All this lot partying like there's no issues. They don't know what awaits them. These waters be cursed, mark my words. Cursed!
Sir, I think you're kind of being a bummer right now. This is my party, and I don't think Bruce Fantana needs to hear about curses right now, so...
Bah! You're like all the others.
Nobody's like
Enjoy
me.
your drinking, your petty little pleasures. You'll disappear like the rest of them.
What kind of curse?
And he says, "Aye, don't mind me. Old sailing stories. You've got plenty to be happy about."
Well, yeah, have you
Just
seen these
leave me
pecs?
to it.
I have a lot to be happy about.
Just
Do I
leave me
notice-
to my drink, young man.
Do I notice Bruce talking to this guy?
Roll me an insight check.
Okay.
As Bruce breaks away from the party to question this old man about his unhappiness.
That token is so good. Well done.
That token. Oh yeah, here. Let's go ahead and take a look at old man Marcus here.
That's cool.
Excellent.
Wow, Victor. Okay, so with a whopping 16, yeah, you definitely notice Bruce Fantana, who's sort of engaged with this curmudgeon-y looking figure. He's just sort of squinting at him, and he's just like, "Oh, you just leave me alone, Leave me to my drink, young man."
I generally like to speak with people that have been around for a while, so I'll go talk to this gentleman and introduce myself.
Okay, so you're approaching, basically.
Yes.
All right. As you approach, this old man is gonna be like, "Well, I guess I must be a lucky man to be meeting both of you fancy lads."
Don't call me fancy.
He sort of looks you up and down. He says, "Hey, lad. All right. What do you call yourself, tall one?"
May call me Victor. And what may I call you, sir?
"Marcus. Call me Marcus. I'm just an old deckhand."
Out of character? Is that with that long arm with the pirate or sorry, so Marcus, no,
Marcus. He definitely seems to be an old sailor.
Yeah.
By the look of his spongy, veiny nose, this man is an old alcoholic. And roll me an insight check, both of you.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh no.
Bruce, you don't notice.
Yay.
But Victor, you absolutely notice. So, this old man has been treated with disdain among the other patrons here, Victor, but you haven't really seen why.
Okay. Well, I motion for the barmaid to get him another drink, and I take a seat at the table and try and show him the drawing that I have from the cave.
Okay. Yvonne.
Oh. Yvonne, you say?
Yvonne is gonna go ahead and head back into the kitchen, where Edmund is currently cooking up a storm. I'm sorry, would you say grab another drink?
Yes, for this old man.
Okay. So you are buying this old man a drink?
Yes, so I can talk to him.
All right. So Yvonne is going to get a drink, and while she's back there, she's going to speak with Edmund briefly. And when she comes back, she has a drink for Marcus here. But Victor, she also walks over to you, and she says, "Oh, Mr. Victor, I have those teeth for you. My husband said that you had requested some. Can you roll me
yes.
2d20, Eddie? To see how many of these like prime shark teeth you retain."
Nice.
Ooh,
Wow.
very nice. 30 like legit prime shark teeth. And consider these raw materials, you guys. I would say you have enough, Bruce, to make various things. Depending on what you want to make, I'll put that in the ball's in your court. Tell me whatever you want to do with these 30 shark teeth. Your boy Victor over here is an artificer. Maybe if you guys like communicate, the two of you guys can come up with something.
A whip.
Wow.
A tooth whip
Fuck.
from Iron Smile.
Okay. So Yvonne is gonna bring back the drink for old man Marcus. And he like holds the mug to her and he says, "Thank you, lass." He says, "And thank you,
Now,
Mr.
you're welcome, Mark. You're welcome, Master Marcus. Now, do you recognize this image? I've found it in the cave below the Clifton House, and I'm trying to get a little bit more information about what's going on.
In the cave below, eh?" And he sort of like passes an eye over. Let me just like show you guys this fucking art, like while I fucking do this. So he's sort of eyeing over this, and he says, "'Tis like no other scripture I've ever seen before. But certainly looks like something otherworldly to me. Perhaps 'tis of the sea devils, which marks these waters here, right outside this very cliff."
Sea devils, you say?
Aye, sea devils. This town is cursed. Mark my words. These people all call me crazy, and he sort of points to all these, like, citizens here. He says, "But I tells you the right of it."
Hey, now, calm yourself, Master Marcus. I don't think you're crazy in the least.
Point.
Bruce Fantana's gonna say, "Hey man, what's in that pipe? What are you smoking on, bud?"
Why, 'tis the finest stream weed available in these parts here.
Yo, can I hit that?
Roll me persuasion, Bruce,
Yes.
to hit Marcus's pipe.
My persuasion's a nothing, so it's a D20.
Do it. Do it. Old man Marcus.
Do I trip while I ask him?
No, old man Marcus
He bogarts it.
cocks you a very like old man eyebrow, way overgrown. That thing's like a forest. He says, I'm afraid not, lad. This here pipe belongs to me alone. Only my lips can bless it."
You are a narc. I knew it.
Victor, what were you asking old man Marcus here?
I'm also
by
gonna.
the way, thank you for your patience. This is an important scene.
I'm also gonna pull out the bit of shark skin that I have from Iron Eye and show it to the old man, and ask him if he recognizes the symbols.
I believe you had already showed it to him. He said he didn't recognize
Oh.
the runes, but they looked like witchcraft to him.
So I showed him the drawing from the cave first, and then I showed him Iron Eye skin. So I have two different things.
Ah.
Yeah, I did a drawing. I did a drawing of the cave. The idol that we found in the cave.
Okay, okay. Upon seeing that drawing, he's gonna say, "Well, that's quite something you've got there, lad. Gather round. Sit. Listen. I've got quite the story for you, and I think it'll give you some context to that there sketch you've got." So he's begging for both of you guys to sit at this table.
Yeah, definitely take a seat, and the next chance Yvonne gets, I see if I can get some food for all of us.
Bruce,
All right.
Bruce sits, and I guess we're gonna eat like an awesome blossom or something.
Okay. All right. So
I want some southwestern egg rolls.
okay, so you guys so old man Marcus here, sipping his drink, his cheeks red, his nose spongy, is gonna tell you his crazy old sailor tale. It weren't like any storm would grace these waters afar. I remember it well. The lads scrambling and scurrying up and down the deck, trying as they might to avoid them foul rocks what towers north of here. That damned spire drew us to her like a moth to flame, it did. And just when we thought we might barely scrape by them deathly jaws, with nary a scrape on the hull, a trough so great it seemed a sea god was drinking from the ocean, pulled us into the inky depths, sucking and drawing our ship downward like a hungry mouth from below. The Anne, which is the Anne is the ship that they were on. The Anne must have dropped 100 feet in an instant. I remember one of the lads screaming and falling into the water, but all I could do was stare and hang on for dear life as I gazed with horror into that black, angry hell. That was the only time I heard it. Thought I'd lost me head at the time, but we all heard a shrieking. Devilish calls would slice the air like a fork squealing against a fine plate. 'Twas only for a moment, for then a wave like no other lifted us toward the sky. A crest so tall you'd think the sea herself placed our vessel from its raging frothy tides and placed it bare upon them stones, broken and stranded to die. You guys see little bits of spit like fleck out of his mouth as he's telling his story. And then we were left, like our ship, run aground. We untied our ropes and gathered inside to take shelter until the night passed. And whilst we trembled against the sea's fury, the storm outside ravaged the ship like an angry harpy, tearing away our nets, rope, and anything else left exposed. In the morning there was nothing left, and we saw naught but a long fall and deathly stones beneath us. Many times boats came out to us to try to find a way up and could not. As such, we were stranded, not a quarter mile from home. By the way, if you guys haven't figured out, what he's telling you is the story of this ship over here, which is placed on a basically a spire, a rock colony that is taller than the town itself. It is above the cliffs. It's basically a tower of stone that rises up out of the sea. And there is a ship atop it. And that is essentially Norstead Point up here. Everybody follow so far?
Mm-hmm.
Sir, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
That was very
Okay.
good.
Mhm.
So he's telling you how the ship got up there right now. And he's telling you they were stranded up there on that tower. And he continues. When we ran out of rations, and then the shipments, we started eating whatever we could find. Bed sheets, string, the leather of our boots. I recall discovering a young sea hand named Thomas, drawn by the sound of his weeping, eating a rat he'd found aboard the ship. And even now, I can feel the envy that I felt for him in that moment. Blood gushing out his teeth and tears rolling down his grateful cheeks like a newborn babe. And then came the morning someone had killed the bosun, smothered him and slit his throat quiet in the night, and ate 3 fingers off his left hand. Now you might think us monsters, but we were desperate men. Hunger had gotten the better of us, and we couldn't rightly bring ourselves to give the bosun his burial at sea. One of the lads was chewing at the bosun's forearm when he suddenly stopped, calm as the morning breeze, and walked himself off the ledge. We shouted at him, but before anyone knew what was what, we watched him fall and break open on them rocks. Wasn't right, that one. Had gotten sick like the others. Like that Clifton girl. Like them families what disappeared. And at this point, the two of you guys start paying a little bit closer attention because y'all realize he's talking about the families that vanished recently in town.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the crew had started sweating, you see. Getting pale like. The lads would mumble and babble, talking at ghosts and such. Say they were hearing things. The same shrieking what hissed at us before that blasted peak. Went feverish we did. Now you might cast me a skeptical eye, but that tells you the right of it. Them boys what were struck with that illness began hovering in the air above their bunks, eyes white as pearls, sweating like madmen, and seawater began dripping up out of the crew deck floorboards towards the ceiling like rain. I heard the captain, who locked himself in his cabin, singing heavenly notes like a raving lunatic. It was the mark of witchcraft, I tells ye. Witchcraft what puts us on that damned rock and curse the lads with madness. Not I tells myself. I'll have no part in these black magics, no matter the cost. We had found a narrow spot of water, you see. Too far down to jump to lest ye cast yourself upon the rocks like young Alex did. But fearing for me life, I pledged myself to the 3 and jumped, closing me eyes lest I die fearfully. And 'twas not till well after I felt myself plunge into the waters below that I came to accept my survival. I feared for sharks, lurking up from below to rend me violently into pieces. And yet there were none. I've been a fate-fearing man ever since. I never saw any of the lads again, and a way to the end was never found. But mind this sickness, I tells ye. 'Tis the work of sea devils, to be sure. And with that,
That was
old man
amazing.
Marcus. And with that, old man Marcus concludes his tale, his beer nearly done. And he nods to the two of you. Mind ye, there's witchcraft afoot in this foul village. And a captain goes down with his ship.
I'm just gonna say it's pretty stingy of you to not share that pipe with me. Cool story, but what's up with that?
'Tis an old pipe, meant only for me, lad. Surely you understand. Would y'all like to do anything else for the remainder of the evening? Do y'all have any response to what this old guy is telling you?
I mean,
Or questions?
I'm gonna ask about the other families and where they disappeared at, and see it.
Fuck. This is like the one detail I forgot to write down. The other families were the Odos and the somethings. But basically,
Kardashians.
they had the Kardashians. They had these 2 houses. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit and show you with the distance tool here. But if I'm not mistaken, they had these top 2 houses, and both of those families vanished in the night.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Um, or is there anyone else? There's no one in those houses right now. They're unoccupied, just
Oh, no,
laying empty.
there are families currently living in there.
Okay. So how long ago did those disappearances happen? Like how long's been happening between each disappearance?
It's fairly long. There's about a month between each one. I mean, not super long, like 4 weeks,
Yeah.
but about 4 weeks.
Okay.
So far, 2 people have vanished and the Clifton girl is sick.
Yeah. So with this information in hand, I'm probably gonna go ahead and head to the Clifton house because I'm like kind of worried now.
Okay. So you're walking to the Clifton house.
Yes.
All right. Bruce, what are you doing?
I guess I could join him.
You're going with Victor?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. At this point, it is very late in the evening. You guys are probably looking at like 1 or 2 in the morning after all the partying. And you're making your way back. Both of you guys have a nice buzz going, I assume. Have y'all been drinking? Victor doesn't much.
I haven't.
Actually. Yeah, that's right. Victor has not been drinking. Bruce, have you been drinking? Does Bruce go hard?
Yeah, it goes super hard.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Bruce
sure.
Bruce is hammered.
All right. So far before you guys make it there, Buttercup.
Mhm.
It's not the droplets of water on your skin that wake you. It is the screaming afterwards that jolts you awake on the counter where you currently are.
All right.
And turning around, you see Cecily Clifton sitting up in her bed, screaming in horror at Beatrice Clifton, who is currently hovering above her bed with her hair sort of gently rippling outward as if in water. And her eyes, which are open wide, have sort of a pale mist about them. And her mouth, which is hanging agape, is sort of singing these like ephemeral, loud notes without pause. And up from the floorboards of the house here are small droplets of water that are gently drifting upwards towards the ceiling like rain, filling the house with what's essentially rain coming up from the floorboards.
So she gets awoken like that, right? So
She gets awoken
immediately-
like that. And Cecily
She-
Clifton is on the bed screaming like, what do I do? And she's looking at you, Buttercup.
So
This
she
is
jolts
without a
awake.
doubt witchcraft, Buttercup. You have never seen anything like this.
Buttercup jolts awake and she looks up at Cecily first. And she's still kind of drowsy, so she's a bit confused until she realizes that Cecily is staring at something. And as she turns and looks at the child, the first thing that comes out of her mouth is "Holy motherfucking of gods!"
Yep, everything is wet. The curtains on the windows are wet. The bed sheets are all soaked. There's rain filling the room, and this girl is just singing these like beautiful angelic notes throughout the room. They sort of
completely-
reverberate ephemerally.
This is way out of her depth. She doesn't know necessarily what's going on, but she knows that Victor is not all that what he seems.
Okay, Buttercup, roll me a perception check.
Got it. Bad.
What do we got?
An 8.
An 8. Okay. So you don't notice it at first, but Cecily sort of like raises her hands to her mouth, her eyes like open wide, and sort of shrieks as she recoils in terror against her bed, and now no longer looking at Beatrice, she is looking in horror at the water barrel in the center of the room, which, as you watch, this like long, like webbed hand sort of rises up out of the water barrel and places itself around the tip, like grabbing the edge of the barrel. And it's got this like blue-gray skin, and this other hand sort of like splashes out of the water and places itself against the barrel. And with a heave, this gray-blue tentacled figure sort of it sort of rises up as like a heap of water that kind of takes place. And this tentacle, or not tentacle rather, but this sort of like humanoid fish-looking figure. If you guys can see that there.
I can.
Yeah.
Sort of just like, and the water kind of lifts up and like solidifies into this shape, and it like pulls itself out of the water barrel, and with a heavy like falls onto the wooden floor. And for a second, it's sort of like gasping and breathing there on the floor.
So Buttercup is all action right now because once she saw that first hand come up, she was like, oh no, I am not okay with this. So as soon as this creature falls to the ground and she sees that he is slowly acclimating to the new surroundings, she just lunges at him with her dagger.
Oh, you're just going to attack him right off the bat?
Yep.
Okay, go for it. Go ahead and do so at advantage because it is currently prone on the floor.
Okay, so how do I do it at advantage?
You just
Roll
roll
again.
again.
I
Take the higher of the two.
Ooh.
All right.
Backstab?
Oh, that's right. You get sneak attack because you have advantage. So go ahead and roll your sneak attack.
Nice.
Oh,
Very
my
nice.
God.
Nice.
Well,
I hope he's bad.
so as Cecily Clifton is sort of like recoiling in horror on her bed, like screaming and shrieking, Buttercup sort of like wakes up at the counter, turns, sees this thing climb out and collapse on the floor, and like taking a knife from her belt, Buttercup, knife in both hands, sort of leaps forward and just pounces on the marrow and sinks the knife in, like kind of up under its chin. And as she does so, it sort of like catches her just a little bit, but not before the knife sinks deep into its neck. And its eyes sort of roll up for a bit and then sink back. And Buttercup, as you're looking at its eyes, you see it's got like 2 layers of eyelids, and they kind of like blink, and the pupils narrow into slits as they're kind of looking at you here. But immediately, like a greenish blood sort of like shoots out of its neck, like all across your blade here, and it kind of like. Go ahead and roll me initiative.
Nice.
Oh my God. Okay. You're up first, Buttercup. You've got the first move as it sort of looks at you stunned.
She is going to attack again with her daggers.
All right.
Her dagger.
Let's get this
Stabby, stabby.
jolly tavern music out of here. All right.
So I roll it twice, correct?
It is currently prone, so yeah, go ahead and hit it twice. It does not have the chance to hit it to stand up yet. Oh my word.
26? Jesus.
Okay, go ahead and roll your sneak attack damage too. Actually, it doesn't matter. Tell me how you kill this thing. If you're killing this thing, you have the option here.
Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it.
Buttercup is all reactions right now, so this guy is scaring her. So since it is something scary, she's just going to off it. So she had that one blade under its chin, so she kind of twists it a little bit, and then jerks it to the side, down to where the other cut is across the neck, and just finishes it, and nearly decapitates it.
All right, so wasting no time, Buttercup, the traveling healer, takes her knife and just slashes this marrow across the throat both ways. And it, like, looking kind of shocked, its eyes kind of wide and blinking rapidly at you, Buttercup. It kind of, like, fog over and glaze as you hear another and two hands sort of press themselves, and a torso kind of rises up out of the water bucket in the center of the room.
She hears that, and immediately, as loud as she can scream, she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Because she is all sorts of now, just, like, discombobbled, and she just killed something, so there's stuff on her hands.
No,
and she's like,
I mean, you're doing great. You made very quick work of the first one. Go ahead and roll me initiative. Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
So, Buttercup, just as this marrow is sort of like coming up for air, you turn on it, knife ready. What do you choose to do?
"Oh,
It
I
has
attack
not
it
yet
again."
acted. Okay, go ahead and attack at advantage. Woof.
Nice.
All right, roll me up that sneak attack damage.
Oof.
Shit. Okay.
Just stabbing this damn thing in the head.
As if you're like fucking trained or something, Buttercup. You just turn around and with another like quick like slash to the throat, sort of catch this marrow and like an uppercut, like with your knife outward, and it sort of like immediately like clutches a webbed hand to its neck and sort of like gasp like and you see these sort of like gills that sort of run down like the length of its collar, kind of like gasping a little bit as it like clutches at this neck, which is now bleeding out this greenish blood, and it sort of like keeps itself out onto the floor here. Prone, yes.
Got it. So are we rolling initiative again?
It is now its turn. So on the floor, like seeing it's being attacked, it sort of like sputters and like you're gonna see it turn and sort of like gag a little bit, and it kind of vomits what looks like this clear runny fluid, which you realize is seawater, onto the floor. And that seawater kind of like hardens a little bit as this thing reaches in it, and its hand sort of vanishes as it hits the surface of the water, and it sort of pulls out of the floorboards where it vomited up the seawater, long sort of coral pole with this jagged tip, and it's going to sort of try and stab it at you with one hand here.
Okay.
Does a 21 hit?
I check. Character sheet.
21 probably hits. I think you have like a 15 or something. I don't think anyone
That's
has
defense.
on AC.
Yeah, do I have
Oh, Eddie, you're coming through quietly. You may want to drop and re-enter.
Sorry, I had my mic off. My
Oh,
bad.
you're good. You're good.
Her AC is 16, so it does hit.
Okay, so you're gonna take 5 damage as this coral spear sort of like sinks into your thigh here, and sort of like cuts at the meat a little.
Oh, she screams at that. She just
yeah.
blood curdling. And then goes, "You dick!"
It hurts.
So do we hear this stuff coming from the house
So
as we're approaching?
Victor, at about this time, the two of you are going to knock on the door. or one of you guys is going to knock on the door, I would assume. But you both travel together.
Okay. Yeah.
So Buttercup. Ooh, Buttercup. In the midst of all this chaos, roll me a perception check.
We wouldn't hear any of this coming like through the walls.
Okay, that's a good point. You guys roll me a perception check. I'm gonna say there's. Would either of you guys be knocking? Let me just ask that. And Eddie.
I would probably just come. I'm familiar. I would probably just would have gone in anyway.
Okay. Well, Victor, as you try and open the door, it is locked. It's locked for the night. Makes sense. You realize it's probably about 1:30 in the morning or so at this point, because you guys have been partying for a while. But inside, you do hear a bunch of like
Yeah.
moving about.
We don't hear this song or anything.
You rolled an 18. I will say that you hear muted ephemeral notes. High pitched, but the door is locked. There seems to be scuffing going on inside. And there is singing. There is a window near you as well. Right here.
Okay.
Next to you.
All right. What do I see looking in the window?
Well, looking in the mirror, the window, you see Buttercup. Well, you're gonna see this dead thing on the floor right here, but you're also going to see Buttercup with a knife sort of scrambled against this thing, and you're going to see Cecily Clifton, who's sort of backed up against the corner of the building here in her bed, like screaming and staring down at the Marrow and Lee.
Okay. So, first thing, as loudly as I can, I'm going to shout to basically the townsfolk. Monster attack at the Clifton home. Monster attack.
All right, roll me a
Just-
performance check to see how attention getting that is.
Okay.
If not, Bruce Fantana can step in.
This is your hype skill right here. I love how we all say his whole name now.
Nice.
Damn! All right, Victor. Your voice is heard. People are awake because they're still partying. So a small crowd is going to begin gathering soon.
I ask if Mr. Fantana, can you break down the door?
Can Bruce Fantana kick in that door?
What? Are you even asking me if Bruce Fantana can kick in the door?
What do I roll?
Oh my god. Roll me an attack. Roll me martial arts at advantage. Oh my god. Bruce Fantana doesn't kick down the door. Bruce Fantana kicks the door to the other side of the room and it collapses against the table. The door
All right.
is completely open and you guys are welcome to step inside.
I step
Yes.
inside.
Absolutely.
All right. The two of you step inside and see Buttercup sort of engaged with this large creature. It's bigger than she is, and it's sort of like its tail is sort of lashing about violently on the floor in shock as it sort of clutches its throat. And you guys see Buttercup, eyes wide, clutching this knife, kind of in kill mode right now.
Yeah.
There's another similar creature on the ground here, but it's covered in what looks like greenish blood all across its gray-blue, half-man, half-fish torso. And it's dead on the ground there.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Go ahead and roll
focus on the one
initiative.
that's alive.
Hello.
Yeah.
Have they been out? Oh, nice. I'm gonna just take a couple.
I'm sorry, what's up?
puffs. Come on, guys.
Buttercup's next, I believe.
Oh, we all just rolled initiative, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, initiative.
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
Nice.
Alright, guys. Buttercup, you're up first. What would you like to do?
Oh, she's going back in with a dagger, dude.
Knife ninja. Okay, it's currently prone, having just pulled itself out of the water here.
So 2 rolls with a dagger and a sneak attack. I don't guess it's a sneak attack though because he's staring at her.
Well, you have advantage, so it's prone. So
You have-
if you
yeah,
you get sneak attack damage if you have advantage.
2 rolls with a dagger. Until you buy another dagger, you won't get that offhand attack. Wow, but with a whopping 22. Oh my god.
Max
What
damage.
the fuck, Buttercup?
Crazy.
So with a whopping 15 damage, you just absolutely annihilate this marrow. And it too is going to sort of like struggle and bleed and die on the floor. And the 2 of these creatures, now both dead, sort of like begin convulsing on the floor and then stop. And then both of them swell up to where they look like they're gonna burst and then convert into water and splash onto the floor. And their bodies are completely and utterly gone.
Bruce Van Hand is gonna say, "Hey, sorry about that door. I guess we didn't really have to come in here at all. You had it totally under control, and I destroyed your door. Sorry."
Well, Miss Buttercup, surprises abound tonight.
Meanwhile, she's looking at y'all both. All right, she's holding her leg because she's in an immense amount of pain. She was stabbed with this hopefully thing that's still stuck in her leg, so she can have a new toy.
Yes. Bruce and Victor, the 2 of you also now take note of Beatrice, who is floating about 4 feet above her bed in an upright position, kind of facing all of you guys. She's actually facing... roll me an insight check, everybody. See if you'll know
Okay.
before I just tell you.
It's a 9.
There's 3 of you. Somebody's got to get this. Duh, y'all. Okay.
Shut up, Hunter.
So she's standing upright. She's standing upright. Or rather, she's floating upright. She's floating several feet off her bed. Her skin is pale, and there's water dripping up off the floor, raining towards the roof. It is salty seawater that is floating towards the roof. Her hair is rippling outwards, and she is singing ephemeral notes with misty white eyes.
She's really hot, though, right?
She's a
Beatrice?
kid.
Beatrice is a child.
Oh, Cecily. Cecily's the hot one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's currently screaming in the
Okay.
corner.
Yeah, she's a
at
hot
the-
single mom. She's terrified by what just happened, by
Which-
the monsters that like dredged themselves up out of the water barrel.
She's not cursed, though, right?
She has no idea. Families disappear in the
Oh,
night.
no.
And Buttercup, you were just here for what just happened.
Yeah.
You actually saved the Cliftons from what just happened. And and Bruce and Victor, you guys just walked in just in time to witness Buttercup finishing them off.
Nice.
Buttercup at this point in time looks at the gentleman. You know, she's breathing heavy. She's holding her leg, and she leans her butt like up against. I guess these are like little chests right there between the beds.
Uh-huh.
She leans there because you know she has to pull out a really cool spear that she calls dibs on. And she's like, "Get the fucking barrel out. Get that water out. That's where they came from. I don't know how. Get the water out. This is some bullshit. And I need a beer."
Bruce and Victor, looking at the water barrel, it is a perfectly regular water barrel. It's only a few feet tall.
Can I punch it in the face?
Punch that water, Bruce,
Martial arts.
if you like. Oh my word.
So I may or may not have critted.
Bruce, you palm thrust the water, and the water rockets towards the ceiling Splashes all over the place. There's about a left. And Victor, you note that the barrel ends at the bottom of the barrel.
Okay, yeah.
You're welcome.
So, these strange creatures seem to travel through this seawater, or through water in general.
Make me
Or
a
would
quick
I-
investigation check, Victor.
Okay.
At this point in time, Buttercup looks down at her leg, the giant, like, crustacean spear sticking out of it. So she just rips the fucker out and screams. And then proceeds to, like, hold her hand over that while she tries to look around to see if she can find some bandages.
Wait, what do you rip out? I'm sorry?
that
Six.
spear that
Oh,
was in her
God.
leg.
The coral spear, 6. Okay, never mind, Victor.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I completely and utterly forgot because I was thinking about Buttercup pulling a spear made of coral out of her waist. So, Bruce and Victor, Buttercup, make me a con save as you pull a coral spear out of your waist.
That's gonna be a. Let's see if everything will be kind to you.
Fucking
Ooh, I think
Buttercup,
that
the
will-
commando over here.
Right? Jesus.
It's no problem.
Oh, I actually
Oh
did good.
my word,
Nice.
Buttercup!
Just hardcore over here.
Buttercup bites her dagger and, like, wraps a cloth around her hand so it doesn't slip on the blood, and grabbing this coarse, sandpapery coral spear, just pulls it out of her waist. And both of you guys watch as, like, the muscle tissue sort of, like, tugs forward as the spear kind of slides out. And Buttercup turns a very pale shade of white.
I never knew I could be so white.
All right. Bruce and Victor, what do you think about what you just witnessed?
So Bruce looks over at Buttercup and says, "Good job, Cutter Fluff."
She glares at him. She's like, "Fuck you."
Gives her a thumbs up. Good job.
Cecily screams, "What is going on? What is going to happen to my daughter?"
Sorry about your door, Cecily. I already apologized once. I'm not gonna do it again.
What the fuck? The door is just, like, collapsed against the corner of this table over here.
Let me take a look at something real fast. I may be able to do something about that.
Is that the door?
That's the door.
You have a door token? Nice.
I can't do anything about it right now. I'll have to wait until tomorrow.
Okay. You just spelled it out like, "I'm sorry, it's too late at night. I can't do
Well,
anything about your door."
Let me
for
get
the
some
time
sleep.
I mean, I can try and make a toolkit check and try and fix it.
being. Dude, there it is. It's fucking knocked off its hinges. Good job.
Yeah. Let me toolkit check, see if I can at least get the whole door back on its hinges and whatnot, so that there's a door.
All right,
Here.
that's gonna be a simple smith or carpenter tools check. Your preference.
All right. Want to see? I think Smith tools what I have. So, what are we using for Smith tools?
Strength or I believe it's strength, just flat strength. It's a
Strength. Okay. Well, that's
You're-
not very good
You're
for me.
crazy for not taking expertise, man. I don't know. You've got like 6 tools available to you. What's your Smith's tools check?
There it is.
10? Okay, it's not super hard.
It's a door.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are able to get the door like back upright again.
Okay.
but it's stiff. It's not quite
Yeah.
right. I'm
I was
gonna
about to
sort
say I
of
won't be able to
tilt it.
won't be able to take the mending cantrip until later. That would have made this whole thing just. The house is moving.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So I'm just gonna say like the door is like ajar, but it's locked in place
Slightly.
for now.
Thanks for cleaning
Okay.
up after Bruce Fantana.
Cleaning
We
up
still
the-
need to, solve the issue of the girl floating in seawater, floating and singing girl, whatever, all of this shit.
That's true. At this point, it's very late at night. You guys are looking at like 2 in the morning ish. You are
Well,
starting to
we-
all get very tired, but you're all very disturbed by what just happened.
We need to have someone on watch, at least for the night. We can't leave the family alone at this point anymore.
As long as I meditate for a minimum of 30 minutes, I'm okay with keeping watch. But like 30 minutes of that time has to be spent with me meditating.
Meditating?
That's how I get my key back.
Okay. Okay. You do have to sleep at some point. You do need to get 8 hours of sleep like every other human.
Oh man.
Oh, man. Okay, so are you guys trying to stay up all night long?
So
Well, one of us needs to stay up to at least until the morning.
I get
Buttercup is exhausted, and
Yeah.
she still has to like fix her leg.
All right, who wants to try and pull the all-nighter?
I guess I can.
Keep in mind,
Victor
Victor,
can do
and
it.
Bruce both fought a shark today.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Bruce is gonna
And,
go.
crab monsters.
Bruce.
All of you guys will get disadvantage on your con save to stay awake.
So Bruce is gonna go up to Cecily and he's gonna be like, "Hey, I kind of need a place to stay tonight. Do you care if I stay with you?"
Bruce.
That'll be good enough.
Roll me a persuasion check, Bruce.
Okay. Persuasion's a nothing, so it's a D20.
Oh my god, it's gonna be a nat 20.
It's a
Oh my god. I am sorry, Mr. Fantana, but I'm afraid that with everything that just happened, I have to stay near my daughter, and unfortunately, this bed only sleeps one. If you like, you can sleep on the floor, but you cannot. That's all I can do for you.
Bruce Fantana's confused.
However, Bruce, you do take note that it is raining upside down in this house, and if you sleep on the floor, water will be forming beneath you and soaking into your back and legs all night long.
Oh.
There is no dry place to sleep in here tonight, except for under Cicely's soaked mattress and Beatrice's soaked mattress.
I'm glad I failed that roll. Maybe I should go outside and just like chill by the door where it's not raining and weird.
If you like, you certainly can do whatever you like.
Yeah, I'm within earshot. I'm gonna say, guys, after getting rejected by Cecily, I'm gonna go outside now. I don't want to be in here. He's just gonna like go sit by the steps, I guess.
Can we set up a tent right outside? Because I don't want to leave nearby. I want to be close by in case something else happens.
You want to set up a tent outside?
Yes, because I'm sure there still is crowd outside, right? Because I called a bunch of people earlier.
Oh, that's right. You got a nat 20 on that, didn't you?
I did.
Oh my god, I don't know if I still have it.
He's got a posse.
Here, I'm just gonna like copy paste this shit.
We should go out there and be like, we totally
I
took
will-
care of it. It's fine.
I will say there's a small posse of not these two shopkeepers
Yeah.
standing outside.
Okay.
Marjorie. There's so many Marjories.
She's an amazing person. She's got deep character development.
She's a one.
Okay, so what are you guys doing tonight? Buttercup, like, you've just been through
Hell.
something quite intense.
And she still has to bandage herself, so she looks at, like, if Victor's already gone, she has the bloody spear in her hand, and she will use it as, like, a crutch to get back over to the table where all of her supplies are at the moment. And so she, like, rips the part of her pants where it starts just completely off, like, takes her knife and, like, trims it off to see how bad it is, and she's like, huh. And then looks over at Cecily. She's like, do you have any needle and thread?
She says, yes, of course, we make all our own clothes in this small town. And she is going to provide you with a needle and thread, no problem.
And she, Buttercup immediately nods. She's like, thank you. You could see the exhaustion on her face. And then the next thing she asks is, do you have a very strong alcohol, or know where I can get a very strong thing of alcohol?
Let me see. Yeah. She pulls out a bottle of what's essentially fantasy vodka, and she's like, well, I've got this old bottle from Chastain's. I never quite finished it.
And Buttercup, okay, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I will buy you another bottle. May I use it?
She says, of course. Whatever you like.
So at this point in time, Buttercup takes a couple healthy shots of this straight from the bottle.
Oh
And then she
my
pours the
God.
rest all over her leg.
All right. If you're taking multiple shots, I want to say I don't need to roll for you, but just because you've been like fucking commandoing everything else tonight, just roll me a con save just to see.
We will see how this goes. Cheat con. Oh my god.
How does that work?
What on earth? Buttercup. You take these, you Rambo these shots, one after another. You don't even look phased by it, and then you just like get to work. You get to work cleaning yourself up. You cut your skirt where you need to like bandage up your wounds. You're washing, like there's so much salt water that you're just cleaning out your wounds and just like scrubbing out the open like gash where the spear had pierced your waist. It's really quite shocking to anyone watching, who I guess it would be Cecily. Victor, what are you doing right now? Are you still inside?
Well, I'm directing townsfolk to letting them know what happened. Trying to get people to at least keep an eye on the house until the morning. See if we can't figure out something to do, or see if this subsides with the child by then. If not, then we'll have to figure out something more permanent.
Okay, and Bruce, what are you doing?
So there's a crowd, right?
There's a crowd here, yeah.
So he's flexing.
I'm flexing, yeah.
I'm flexing. Roll me that performance check.
Okay. Performance
check.
is 0, so it's
You're full hero,
a d20.
so you're still a full hero.
He's tired. He's really tired.
It's been a long day. The scuffs look good. You've got like that rugged look going on, but you're tired.
He fought a shark and crab people. He
Yeah,
beat up a door,
and you partied.
and he partied. Ate some shark,
Okay.
ate iron sides.
Bruce, this is still your first day in Norstead. All right, is everyone crashing for the night?
I think
as much
so.
as they can.
I think
Yeah.
Well, Buttercup still needs to have, like, with her way, she still needs the back part of her wound sewed, and she can't do that herself because she can't see back there.
I'm sorry, you need the back part of your wound treated.
Yeah.
Cecily can help you with that.
Okay, cool.
She is happy to help you. At this point, Buttercup, she will give you basically whatever you need, and you're able to pick up on that. You have thoroughly earned Cecily's trust. However, Buttercup, Beatrice has not stopped singing, nor has she stopped floating above her bed. And you have no idea when more people might, crawl up out of the water bucket
That was destroyed.
that was destroyed. Yes, it is now no longer there, although I don't think I'm able to remove it from the map at the time being. But you sleep lightly throughout the night, but you do get your rest.
Yeah.
Consider
Yeah.
yourself fully rested after this. Victor and Bruce, you guys were filling in this crowd. Bruce was flexing like a boss. What would y'all like to do for the evening? You're all just crashing and starting fresh the next morning?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Fast forward, bam, crowd's gone. You guys are the talk of the town. Both of you are staying at Chastain's Tavern tonight
Yes.
in one of the rooms. Okay. Go ahead. We'll fast forward. Clock. All right. Next morning. What's going on? What's everybody doing this morning? Buttercup, you awaken feeling pretty rested.
Mhm. But
Because
I
nothing
got
else
run over
happened
by
after.
a train.
Yeah, nothing else happened after those marrow. You are feeling sore. Your wounds are feeling quite sore, but you did get a full night's rest. Bruce and Victor, similarly, you guys were able to sleep through the night, and the two of you feel equally rested. For all of you, it's about 11 in the morning now.
All right, so Buttercup looks over at Cecily. If Cecily is awake at this point in time, she's like, you have been here by your daughter, and I commend you for that, but you need to take care of yourself as well. Why don't you go to the tavern, get yourself something to eat, see if you can use one of their baths to clean up, and I will stay here and watch Beatrice. I don't know what I can do, but I'll try to do the best that I can.
She sort of sighs, but she nods. And Cecily, or Buttercup rather, the two of you guys looking at each other, y'all both have like dark rings under your eyes from like the past couple nights of just up late. And she nods gratefully and she's like, "Thank you so much." And she says, "Would you like me to grab you anything from the tavern?" And even as she says it, it's slow and tired.
And she looks up at Cecily and she's like, if you could just, bring back maybe some like bread and cheese, I'll be cool with that.
Bread and cheese it is. Okay, so Cecily's gonna peace out and go to the tavern where Victor and Bruce, each of you guys are about waking up at this point.
Yeah.
And while Cecily is gone, okay, she's wearing pants. She has the one that's off, and then she cut a area out of her shirt, so she'll eventually have to get that replaced. But you
Mhm.
can see the bandages, you can see the red. They're gonna have to be changed soon. So she uses her coral crutch staff thing.
Buttercup, did you sleep here last night?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go on.
And she's gonna use that to make her way over to this little table over here and start working on some more poultices for herself and salves that she can put on her wounds to help heal that while trying to figure out things that she could possibly do with peace.
Make me an herbalism kit check, and this will count during last night's long rest. 23. Holy crap.
Wow.
Okay. So, Buttercup, do you remember that moss that you had scraped off the wall back in the
Yes.
distant cave? That moss has healing properties. And just that tiny sample wasn't really enough to give you much of anything, but you have identified the moss in that cave as being a useful moss that you can use to make healing poultices. I will also point out that you slept on the table last night because of all the water that's drifting up
Oh, that's
towards the
true.
ceiling.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay, so Bruce and Victor, the two of you guys wake up this morning. You guys are each in different rooms. I don't know where you are. You're welcome to be on the first floor. One of you would like to be, but I think Victor said he wanted to be here before.
I did.
All right. So what are you guys doing this morning?
I'm gonna get a steak and eggs, go downstairs, eat some breakfast?
I am. Yeah, I'm gonna go downstairs.
They look quite nice. I do say something.
See if I can't. I'm still trying to figure out what's causing this. Well, apparently magical affliction. So I'm like, I'm just like in deep thought while I'm trying to eat something in the morning.
So are you eating in your room, or are you down out with people?
No, I mean I'm downstairs like.
Okay, Bruce, what are you doing right now?
So Bruce is gonna go downstairs and sit at his table and signal for a waitress and be like, "I want a steak and eggs. I'm Bruce Fantana."
Okay, so Bruce Fantana, you're downstairs ordering a steak and eggs. Victor, you're down there as well.
Yes.
The two of you guys are sitting down. Jocelyn and Percival, who are regulars, we're gonna go ahead and say Randall's not there for the time being. These guys are having breakfast as well. Many of the other patrons are currently not here because it's first thing in the morning. But as you guys walk in, Jocelyn's gonna be like, "Well, the toast of the town. Good morning, you two." And Percival's gonna sort of like nod over his breakfast.
Hey,
Oh,
Hey.
we've it was an eventful day yesterday.
He says, "Oh yeah, it was." And Jocelyn says, "It's a good thing I bumped into you. I think I was supposed to show you something this morning." And at about that
yes.
time, Cecily is going to sort of like walk in through the door. And she is going to sort of walk back to the kitchen and order something. Alright, so are you guys leaving? What are y'all trying to do today? What do y'all want to do today as players? What do y'all want to do today?
Beatrice wants to go collect more moss, but she has to be careful because, you know, she had a hole stabbed through her. But, you know.
That's true. You are bandaged up though.
Yeah.
But it does not feel good. Because it did go all the way through your waist.
so Bruce Fantana has no idea about any of the like sickness stuff going on or the disappearances, right?
Bruce. Roll me a perception check at advantage, because you would have had all night to notice this.
That's a crit.
That's a crit. Wow. Okay, Bruce. You have started sweating all the time, and you don't know why. This has never happened to you before. And it's not even like your normal sexy sweat. It's like...
That's what I thought it was at first.
That's what yeah. It's not your typical 80s action movie sheen. It's your like... There's something wrong. You're like sweating and there's drops like hitting the floor. It's still fairly subtle, but it's constant.
So Victor's a doctor, right?
Victor is a doctor.
Okay.
I am.
So as I'm eating my steak and eggs, I have this critical epiphany and realize, oh, I don't really feel that well. And knowing that Victor is a doctor, I'm gonna bring it up and be like, hey V, not feeling that good right now, man. I'm sweating. Bruce Fantana, don't sweat.
Well, the fact that you don't sweat does seem mildly alarming, but
I've never bought
Let
deodorant
me-
in my entire life. Never once.
let me see. That is something I wanted to check out. Let me get my bag of tools. So I'll go upstairs and get my medical tools and everything
Okay.
for inspecting Mr. Fantana.
Are you gonna take his
So-
temperature?
Yes.
How?
So you're going to do a medical assessment of Bruce?
Yes, I'm going to be doing a medical assessment of Bruce.
Okay. Now, you have already expended one charge of this to examine Beatrice. This is going to be your second charge, so you have 8 charges left. Go ahead and roll me a toolkit check. This will be wisdom or intelligence, your choice. Plus proficiency.
Nice.
Nice. All right. Wow. Okay. You do an extremely thorough checkup on Bruce here, and Percival and Jocelyn are each going to take note of like your medical like expertise as you're kind of going through this examination. As do you, Bruce. And Victor, you're not able to find anything that indicates or anything that would sort of explain this excessive sweating that Bruce is doing. No infection, no inflammation.
This seems similar to the other case in the town. What was her name? The young girl.
Ironsides.
No. I can't remember the Clifton girl.
Beatrice.
Beatrice, yeah.
Bruce is looking rather sweaty, actually. And Cecily's going to come out having placed her order with Edmund and received her food. And as she steps out, she sort of sees you giving Bruce like this medical examination. And she asks, "How are the two of you? Thank you for coming over last night."
Oh, you're very welcome. We were just trying to help. I do have a question for you. When did your daughter's condition start?
She says, "About a couple of weeks ago. We're lucky that y'all came when you did."
Do you remember anything specific about that day that sticks out to you, that anything different that your daughter may have done?
She thinks for a moment and she sort of shakes her head and she says, "Nothing any different than she's done her whole life."
She didn't perhaps venture into the water that day?
She says she did, but swimming's fairly common around here, at least until Iron Eye showed up.
Well, yes.
She's going to mention that Buttercup girl from last night. She's recovering. Bless you.
Thank you.
She's recovering in my house at the moment.
Bruce is gonna look at Cecily and say, "Who is Iron Eye?"
Cecily's going to look back at you, Bruce. And forgive it. Because you're gorgeous, Bruce.
She has my autograph.
She does have your autograph. But she's going to remember that you couldn't remember this. Okay, so... Alright, so what do y'all need from anybody in the tavern right now, including Cecily?
So Bruce is gonna put an arm on Victor's shoulder, and he's gonna like kind of pull him in sort of close. These guys are homies. Like, Victor saved him from a shark earlier. We fought crab people together. Like, this is my good friend, and I'm gonna bring him in real close, and I'm gonna say, "Hey Victor, I've never sweat before. Do I smell weird? Just be honest with me, man. I feel like I can trust you. Just tell me, do I smell weird?"
Victor. Yes, Victor?
Does he smell weird?
Do I?
Roll me a perception check, Victor. Okay. Admittedly, Bruce Fantana smells like body odor, but Bruce Fantana's body odor smells like fucking power.
You mean Power, the Axe deodorant fragrance?
It doesn't smell bad. It's masculine, and it's like whiskey and tobacco.
I smell like Old Spice. You're welcome.
I will say that you definitely smell unique. But nothing out of the ordinary, Mr. Fantana.
Do I smell like an Olive Garden? Just tell me. Be honest.
I do not smell a garden of olives
Okay,
in
good.
your aroma, sir.
Good.
Jocelyn actually did want to show you at some point, Victor, that there
Yes.
were certain shapes in the town that were similar to what was in your shark skin.
I would like to go ahead and go accompany Jocelyn to take a look at these shapes.
Okay. Unfortunately, the only art I have for him is of a sitting figure, so I'm just going to say that he leads you about town. Bruce, would you like to join?
Sure.
And Buttercup, what are you doing? Are you just sleeping right now?
No, she is watching a really weird floating girl and steadily
still
working
singing.
on replacing her bandages.
Okay. You just bandage her as she floats and sings, eyes wide and unblinking, midair.
With the comment of, I don't have enough booze for this.
Yeah, she does not respond in any unusual way, so you're able to change the bandages and everything easily enough. But it is very strange as she sort of sings these ethereal notes, basically in your face. Is there anything else you're wanting to do after tending to the Clifton girl?
She's gonna go try to meander and find the boys if she can, but she has to wait till Cecily gets back.
Okay. Well, it doesn't take long because Cecily's actually going to leave about the time that the boys leave. So when she comes back and she exchanges, I guess, watches with you over Beatrice there, and you're free to leave, you are going to notice the boys across town here sort of looking at several things with a man whose name you don't quite know, who the guys know as Jocelyn. But he is actually showing the guys this particular shape right here, which is sort of this rough structure. It's very eroded, but it does seem to have some sort of old, faded design to it. And then Jocelyn is going to bring the two of you north, and Buttercup, at this point, you're welcome to tag along.
Yeah, she's gonna be slowly tagging along with them and using the spear as a crutch.
Okay. But he is going to lead you all to the northwest tip of town, where there is very clearly another one of these like old, eroded, faded shapes.
We couldn't hear that, Bib.
Yeah.
And there's clusters of coral sort of growing around it that are long since died off.
Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary on the coral growth or anything. Can I inspect this
Yeah, inspect away.
statue?
Man. Go ahead and
All right.
roll a an investigation check. Anybody else wanting to eyeball the statue?
Can I lick the statue?
Lick it, dude.
What do I roll? What do I roll to lick the statue?
Just lick it, man. Just do it.
Bruce licks the statue.
Do it, dude. Just fucking do it.
licks the statue. Bruce, once again, it's like this kind of like salty, soily taste. As your tongue like licks this rough, kind of jagged, fairly sharp coral stone. And your mouth is filled with like a light gray dust. And I'm sorry, Victor, what are you doing? You're just inspecting it?
Yeah.
Okay. It is clearly extremely faded, but there does seem to be some hint of intelligent design, as there does seem to be some semblance to the other shape in the center of town as well.
Hmm.
All right, I'm gonna have
Both figures are made of coral.
that's not the button I need to hit. Can I roll for insight in that she recognizes that it's similar to some of the inscriptions on her necklace?
Go ahead and roll me insight. Yeah.
Boom.
Not that you can tell.
Not that I can tell at this point in time. Then
Not
again, I'm
that you
leaving
can
it
tell.
to speak.
Would Bruce
okay.
Fantana possibly notice?
Bruce, what are you trying to notice?
Could I notice a semblance between the things on her necklace and?
Oh no, she has that.
She hasn't shown anyone the necklace.
Oh, okay.
So, just so everyone's clear, the options that you guys have available to you right now, as far as like things you could possibly try to do, is that there is this place known as Finnegan's Bucket, which is supposed to be this extremely dangerous place over here that none of the sailors or fishermen go to. And there is also Norstead Point to the north up here, which you guys can very clearly see. The towers actually over the cliffs. The spire, which rises out of the sea, is taller than the cliffside town. And there is a ship which is wrecked atop it, and no one has found a way to it. But you guys have the morning to yourselves to do whatever you like.
Buttercup turns to, Victor and Bruce, and, she's still wounded, so she's moving very slow. And she's like, I have a favor to ask one of you. And that favor is, can one of you please go down and collect the moss that was pulled away from the wall in the cave yesterday? It has incredible healing properties. I need to get some more of it so that I can make some more healing items.
There's a rope for you to get down if you need to get down.
Oh, she knows that, but she also knows that, she had a spear through her side.
True, good point. Still feeling that spear.
It kind of, twinges a bit.
Okay. What do you guys think?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bruce doesn't mind.
Yeah, we can go gather the moss, and
Does it-
also kind of explain to our guy here, the data that's guiding us around, what we'd like to do with the cave.
Does anyone remember the name of the carpenter?
Fred. Was it Hugo?
No.
No.
It started with a C.
It was like a kind of a fairly likable name.
Calvin?
Colton?
No.
Caesar.
I don't remember.
Damn. I cannot remember the name of the carpenter for the life of me. And it's gonna show up in the
He's gonna be he's just gonna be Johnny.
Okay. Well, Carpenter is down in the carpenter shop. I believe he had told Victor to come visit his shop at some point
Yes.
because he would be happy to help you out.
Okay.
Hmm.
Basically setting up the new distant cave. That being said, you guys, how are we all doing so far? How are we doing in the recording so far? Are we hitting about our 3-hour time?
I mean, I believe so.
Thereabouts.
We're
I
looking at
don't
about
know.
130 so far.
Yeah.
I hear a random horse. It galloped by.
Yeah,
I am starting to fade, I will say that.
yeah, there are horses in this town, and there are stables here at this building here. But yeah, we are starting to hit that late mark. Do y'all want to call it here for the night?
I don't mind either way. Sounds like
Yeah, I mean,
Eddie's probably leaning towards yes.
yeah, I am.
That's fine. No worries, dude. We can definitely call it.
We have
Okay,
a small
cool.
child. Dictates our
So next session, we can probably hit up Finnegan's Bucket and whatever else you guys want to do here.
Nice.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
agree with that. Hopefully, you know, Buttercup
Well-
will be back to normal.
Yes, hopefully then. You're still going to be feeling those wounds. There's a lot to recover from. But dude, Buttercup is a fucking commando.
Dude, yeah.
Jeez, right?
What is going on with Buttercup? The traveling
Wait till she gets the other dagger.
God. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight at Norstead Point. Matt, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, check us out at nerdjamtv.com. And we've got a cool streaming schedule. We've got a lot of good stuff going on. You can check out Eddie and Hunter on Ad Proficiency at nerdjamtv.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.